Good morning, students. Good morning to all. On last day, we have studied about the balance of payment disequilibrium and about the exchange rate also. So today also just we will study what we have studied on last day, and we will go to the new concepts. Today we can see about the exchange rate. So exchange rate, the meaning of foreign exchange. The foreign exchange shortly will called as a forex money. The foreign exchange refers to foreign currencies. So we must involved when we are going to involve in this foreign or international trade. We have to undertaking the payment and receives. So whenever we want to pay to the other nations, we have to pay in the foreign currencies. So we can get in the form of our currencies. So the mechanism through which payments are effected between two countries having different currency system is called foreign exchange systems. So more nations are involved in this international trade. So when they are involved in this international trade, they have to exchange their currencies. So we have to pay in the form of other nations' currencies, and we will get in the form of our nation's currencies. So all the nations must be having the other nations' currencies. So they have to pay in their related trading countries' money. So it covers methods of payment, rules and regulations of payment, and the institutions facilitating such payments. So every nations will have the different methods to paying to the another nations, and some of the rules and regulations are there. So on the basis of rules and regulations only, all the trading countries have to pay to the another nations, and the institutions facilitating such payments. So all the nations have to pay to the currencies to the another nations. For that, some of the institutions also providing the facilitating for that payments. So the foreign exchange is the system or process of converting one national currency into another nation's currency and of transferring money from one country to another countries. So when all the nations are involving in this international trade, they have to pay to the money to other nations for the import purposes, and they will receive some amount of money for the export purposes. So whenever they paying to the nations currencies, they have to pay their related trading countries currencies only. So next, the rate of exchange. The exchange rate may be defined as the price paid in the home currency for unit of foreign currencies. So whenever we want to pay the money, the rate of exchange must be equal. So the transaction in the exchange market are carried out at exchange rates. It is the external value of domestic countries. So all the nations currency has some of the value. For example, if if one dollar is equal to just 70 rupees. Here $1 value is equal to the 70 rupees mean the value of dollar is very higher than the rupees. This is the value of currencies. So the exchange rate may be defined as price paid in the home currencies. For example, if you are considering the 75 rupees Indian currencies for a unit of foreign currencies, for America, if you are considering the America, so the $1 is equal to the 75 rupees. So in one unit of foreign currency, to show many units of the domestic currencies. A certain number of units of foreign currency to 1 unit of domestic currencies. When we are comparing the Indian rupee along with the American dollar mean, so $1 is equal to 70 rupees or $1 is equal to 1.42 cents. Next, determination of exchange rate. How the exchange rate value is determined. So on the basis of some of the headings, so the foreign exchange value will be determined. First, the differential in inflations. The inflation and exchange rates are inversely related. So a country with a consistently lower inflation rate exhibits a rising currency value. In any of the nations, lower inflation situation is existing. Their exchange rate always may be rising. The value of currency will be increased as its purchasing power increases relative to other currencies. So when you have $1, you can purchase more commodity in India. But if you have 70 rupees, if you have the 70 rupees only, you can purchase any of the little bit of commodities in Americas. So on the basis of demand of commodities also the exchange rate will be increased. Now the American commodities are consumed by the Indian peoples as more, the exchange rate also will be increased. So if any of the nations having the low inflation rate, their price value will be increased. And if the same nations are having the high inflation rates, the value of money will be decreased. Because in the inflation time, already we have studied in this inflation time, what will happen? So the money value will be decreased, right? Because the volume of money may be increased, but the value of money decreased. Because the value of money is not higher. So if any of the nations are having the higher inflation rate, it will get the low price value. So there is inverse relations are there between the inflation rates. Next, differential in interest rate. Some of the interest rates also will be different along with more countries or between these two countries. So there is a high degree of correlations between interest rates, inflations and exchange rates. So central banks can influence over both inflation and exchange rate by manipulating interest rates. Normally we have studied in our monetary policies, the Reserve Bank of India always will be fixing the rate of interest on the basis of the inflation and the deflation time. So in the inflation time, so the central bank will be fixing the high rate of interest for the rendering money for the entrepreneurs. But if any of the nations fixing the high rate of interest, the value of money may be changed. The high interest rate attract foreign capital and cause the exchange rate to rise and vice versa. So when you have the high rate of interest, we can easily attract the foreign direct investment. So on the basis of interest rate also, the exchange rate will be determined. Next, the current account deficit. A deficit in the current account implies excess of payment over receipts. So when we have the deficit current account, we have to pay more money. Because when we have the deficit current account, we will be less ability to export than the import. So we have to import more commodities from another one of the nations. and because of that we have to pay more. So when we have the need of paying more amount to the foreign nations, the exchange rate will be changed. The country resorts to borrowing capital from foreign sources to make up the deficit. So excess demand for foreign currency lower country's exchange rate. Next, public debt. So large public debts are driving out foreign investors because it leads to inflation. So large public debt also bringing the inflations. So as a result, exchange rate will be lower. Next, terms of trade. A country's terms of trade also determines the exchange rate. If the price of a country's exports rises by a greater rate than of its imports, its terms of trade will improve. So the favorable terms of trade imply the great demand for the country's export, and thus balance of payment becomes favorable. If you have the favorable balance of trade, the balance of payment also will be as a favorable one. So when we have the favorable balance of trade, our currency value may be increased. Because whenever we are going to increasing our exports, so it means the demand for our commodity is higher in another one of the nations. So we can fixing the more price for their commodities. Otherwise, whenever the other nations peoples want to consuming our commodities, automatically the price rate or the value of currency will be increased. Next, political and economic stability. If a nation's political climate is stable and economic performance is good, its currency value will be appreciated by attracting more foreign capital. If any of the foreigners want to make investment to the domestic countries, here we must have the political climate, the stability, political climate and economic performance. If our economic performance and the political climate also, if it is stable, so we can easily attract the foreign investment. So whenever we will have more foreign investment, we can get the good exchange rate value. Next, recession period. Already we have studied in many places. So all the nations will have the or will face the basis of trade cycles. So it's one of the bases in the trade cycle is recessions. So interest rates are low during the recession phase. So this will decrease the inflow of foreign capital. As a result, a currency will be depreciated against other currencies, thereby lowering the exchange rate. So the recession period means the depression period. Otherwise, the Reserve Bank of India will be fixing the low rate of interest for the purpose of borrowing the entrepreneurs more. For the purpose of rendering the more currencies to the entrepreneurs, it will be fixing the low rate of interest. But here we can increasing our economic development. But because of low interest rate, the foreigners will never get the interest to make the investment on domestic nations. So because of that, we will get the low foreign capitals. Because of that, our exchange rate also will have the possible to reduce. Next, speculations. If a country's currency value is expected to rise, investors will demand more of that currencies in order to make a profit in the near futures. Already we have studied, if any of the entrepreneurs or if any of the foreign investors is going to expected to raise the investment, the country currency's value is expected to increase. So all the foreigners will come to our nations to make an investment on any of the industries. So this result in appreciation of the exchange rate. Beside the above determinants, relative dominance in the global politics and the power to announce economic sanctions over other countries also determines exchange rate. So it is like that all the nations will have some of the situations to expecting the other nations investors to make a investment to their domestic nations. So by the 8 reasons, so the exchange rate will be going to determine. Next, foreign direct investment. Already we have studied the foreign direct investment. The foreign direct investment means it is an investment in a foreign country involves some degree of control and participation in management. Nowadays, on the basis of the globalizations, the investors which has any one of the nations can able to make the investment to the another one of the nations to start at union of the industries. So foreign direct investment is an important factor in global economy. If any of the nations want to improve their economy, that nations must be allow the foreign direct investment. The foreign trade and foreign direct investment are closely related because without the foreign direct investment, the foreign trade is not possible to improve and enhancement. So in developing countries like India, foreign direct investment in the natural resources sectors, including plantations, increases trade volume, foreign production, foreign direct investment is useful to substitute foreign trade. Because in our developing nations like India will never have more capital accumulations. So without having the more capital accumulations, these nations will never increase their trade volumes. So foreign production foreign direct investment is useful to substitute the foreign trade. So if we are allowing the foreign direct investment, it will automatically bring the development of economy. So foreign direct investment is also influenced by the income generated from the trade and regional integration schemes. So foreign direct investment, if you are allowing the foreign direct investment, the regional integrated scheme also will be generated. Because of that, more income also, some more employment opportunity also will be generated. The foreign direct investment is helpful to accelerate the economic growth by facilitating the essential imports needed for carrying out development programs like capital goods, technical know-how. When the export earnings of a country are not sufficient of finance for imports, so foreign direct investment may be required to fill that trade gap. So no nations will be sufficient to their only own capitals for involved in this international trade. So all the nations will be adopted the foreign direct investment schemes. By the help of the foreign direct investment only, all the nations, mostly the developing countries, will improve in their international trade. So foreign direct investment is encouraged by the factors such as foreign exchange shortage, desire to create employment, and acceleration of the pace of economic development. So if you want to accelerate the economic development, so we have to allow the foreign direct investment. Then only the technical know-how and the technologies and some of the skilled persons will be moving from one person to another one of the nations. So because of that only the employment opportunity also will be increased. So whenever if we are going to allow more the foreign direct investment, one domestic nations can create the employment opportunity. So all the peoples also will get the employment opportunity. So many developing countries strongly prefers foreign investment to imports. However, the real impact of foreign direct investment on different sections of economy may differ. So foreign direct investment, the allowing the foreign direct investment and the rules and regulations of the foreign direct investment maybe differs along with the another nations. So this may be discussed in the classroom. The large demand for US generated by International Monetary Fund and World Bank policies. Next, the advantages of foreign direct investment. Before we are going to study about the advantages of foreign direct investment, we have to know about the objectives of foreign direct investment. So the foreign direct investment has the different objectives. So first one is sales expansions. If any of the nations want to improve their sales, expands their sales, they have to adopt the foreign direct investment. Because if any of the nations want to improve their sales in expand level or increase their market, they have to increase more commodities or supply of commodities. So without the sufficient level of the industrial sectors, nations cannot able to increase their market and the sales volume. So if you are allowing the foreign direct investment, we will get more industrial sectors, and because of that the market also will be expand from the existing level, and because of that the sales volume of one commodities or all the commodities may be increased. Next, acquisition of resources. So we have to being in the need of the more resources. If you want to produce any of the commodities or different type of the commodities, we must be in the need of sufficient level of resources. It suppose if it doesn't have, if you don't have the sufficient level of the resources, we can easily import from the another nations, which nations make the investment on our nations. Next, the diversifications and the minimization of competitive risk. So if you want to increase the supply of commodities, the competitions will be increased. But if you are allowing the foreign direct investment, so we can make the minimized the competition's risk. So without having any of the risk, so we can made more markets. Next, advantages of foreign direct investment. For studying the advantages of foreign direct investment is doesn't have the sufficient level of time, so we will study on tomorrow. If you have any doubt in these determinations of balance of trade or the exchange rate, please study and ask me, and just to take the determinants of exchange rate as your study portions. Thank you.